If you're the sort of FPL manager who wants an edge in your mini league without doing hours of research, you need to read the Lazy FPL newsletter. It's a free, no-nonsense email sent 24 hours before every deadline. I read it and I love it, you'll love it too. Use the link in the description to subscribe. An abysmal score of 33 points in Game Week 5 has seen another red arrow down to 1.8 million. Problems are mounting up in defence after Ben Chilwell was dropped from the starting 11, and Pervis Estupiñán was handed a rest after a long trip back from international duty. The deputising Rico Henry suffered a suspected knee injury in the first half against Newcastle. There were few points on offer in midfield aside from Bukayo Saka's assist for Leandro Trossard. Rashford took a leading total of 9 shots and created a big chance in defeat to Brighton, while Maddison's tally of 4 attempted assists in Game Week 5 was only beaten by Dejan Kulusevski and Mohamed Salah. It was a familiar story up front as Nico Jackson was denied by the woodwork in a goalless draw with Bournemouth. Erling Haaland was unlucky to come away with just a single goal against West Ham, having racked up 9 shots and 6 big chances. So let's move on to the transfer plans for Game Week 6. There are 2 free transfers available and I'm starting to think more short term with plans to wildcard in Game Week 8. Ordinarily, sorting out the defence would be a bigger priority, but I tend to see them as low ceiling transfers. If I was to sell a defender, Rico Henry would be the strongest candidate, with fears he could miss the remainder of the season. The appeal of Newcastle defenders is increased by fixtures against Sheffield United and Burnley in the next 2 game weeks, the 2 teams with the lowest expected goals per game this season. Kieran Trippier of course being the standout pick, with a joint leading tally of 12 attempted assists among defenders, while Sven Botman offers a more budget-friendly alternative. Selling Nico Jackson is for me a bigger priority, since I view his potential replacements as high-ceiling picks. There is a case to keep faith in the Chelsea forward, given he's at home in Game Week 5 against an Aston Villa side competing in Europe on Thursday. We're yet to see how the lack of European football could impact the Blues. Julian Alvarez is the most obvious target to bring in, and for good reason. His combination of creativity and goal threat means his ceiling is always high. He's a talented finisher, and playing among other talented finishers who help him overperform his expected stats. But Callum Wilson is tempting me as a more differential alternative. If we see Isak starting in the Champions League, I would expect Wilson to keep his place at the weekend. Averaging 8.7 points per 90 this season, he's scored 14 goals in his last 17 Premier League outings. Finally, I'm also considering a short-term move to sell James Maddison ahead of ties with Arsenal and Liverpool. The Game Week 8 wildcard presents me the opportunity to target a player with a more favourable fixture. Kaoru Mitoma has played a direct hand in 4 goals across the opening 5 game weeks, averaging 5 points per game. Brighton have scored a leading tally of 15 goals and face Bournemouth in Game Week 6. Only Sheffield United and Fulham have conceded more expected goals than the Cherries. So with all that said, my plan is to prioritise the attacking changes, with Jackson and Maddison to Wilson and Mitoma using 2 free transfers. And here's how the team is set to line up. Andre Onana comes back in between the sticks for a trip to Burnley. The Clarets have averaged 0.9 expected goals per game this season, with only Sheffield United faring worse. I'm leaning towards giving Ben Chilwell another game in hopes he returns to the 11 to face Aston Villa. Pochettino opted for a more offensive player in Mudryk against Bournemouth, but it didn't particularly work out, with the Blues failing to get on the scoresheet. I have more confidence in Pervis Estupiñán reclaiming his place, as much as Tariq Lamptey impressed. Brighton are in action midweek in the Europa League, which may offer us more clues. Bournemouth have scored just 4 goals this season, with only Luton and Everton faring worse. Arsenal's robust defence is one of the factors driving my decision to prioritise other transfers ahead of a Newcastle defender this game week. The Gunners have shown a cautious approach to matches this season, conceding the fewest expected goals so far. The North London derby has been won by the home side in 6 of their last 7 meetings. Potential transfer Kaoru Mitoma is set to be the only change in midfield. To expand further on that decision, I'm considering it a 1-week punt, with the plan being to upgrade Archer to Carlton Morris for his double Game Week 7, therefore benching Mitoma against Aston Villa. No midfielder has attempted more shots than Marcus Rashford in the last 4 game weeks, while Bruno Fernandes ranks 4th. Man United face a Burnley side that have conceded a league high average of 3 goals per game this season. And across each team's last 4 matches, only Wolves have faced more shots on target than the Clarets. Brian Mbeumo ranks 4th among midfielders for non-penalty expected goals in the last 4 game weeks, only behind Sarr, Danjuma and Rashford. Brentford host an Everton side that are yet to keep a clean sheet. They've averaged 2.3 expected goals conceded on the road, with only Fulham, Luton and Bournemouth allowing more. Alongside potential transfer Callum Wilson will of course be Erling Haaland leading the line. In the last 4 game weeks, the Norwegian has been afforded 11 big chances, 6 more than any other player. His tally of 25 shots in the box is 10 more than the nearest rival Johan Wisse. And it's these numbers which make Haaland my preferred captaincy choice once more. 8 of the 10 big chances conceded by Nottingham Forest this season have come on the road, and they conceded a league high 44 goals in away matches last season.